This is not broadcast. It's record. Эти влазят внутри. Как? Так, а ну-ка. Не. Не пойдет, если на одну не хватает. Сил будет. Как не хватает? Хватило? А у меня, смотрите, она будет падать. Ну-ка еще оставьте. Не надо. Что-то тут взять.
First initiation, one second
Десяток человек получается, да?
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, so today is the ceremony called Diksha. Diksha is the name given for the initiation. Diksha means the process by which we destroy sinful reactions and deliver transcendental knowledge. So you have to understand that these things don't happen immediately.
但是我们要理解这个过程，不是说一下子就发生了。
But they begin from this time of the initiation.
但是这个过程是在启迪的时候开始。
And then it's up to the devotees to practice regularly, hearing and chanting, and in this way they will awaken their Krishna consciousness.
所以取决于奉献者个人是否能遵循这些规范要则，然后是否能够去聆听很好的念诵，然后去了解 Krishna 上。
So in the Krishna conscious initiation process, there are different procedures required.
在回师大知觉的启迪仪式当中有不同的程序。
One is like you have to have taken already the ISKCON disciple course, where you learn all the principles behind the initiation.
一个是我们已经上过了文图课程，ISKCON的文图课程，了解启迪需要的所有的原则。
And you learn also about selecting the spiritual teacher, and you learn about what you have to go do in order to be initiated.
然后知道怎么选择一个灵性导师， 如果想要启迪，应该经历什么样子的一个过程？
So, in ISKCON, we give initiation to connect the devotee into the parampara.
在意识上启迪是为了让门徒能够和我们的使徒传系相连接。
The parampara is coming from Lord Brahma. We are called the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya.
我们的使徒传系来自于 Brahma， 然后我们这个使徒传系叫做 Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya 使徒传系。
So we want to establish the devotees firmly in connection with the parampara.
所以我们想要奉献者非常坚定的和我们的使徒传系相连。
And at the same time, we also want to connect the devotees into the ISKCON society as founded by Srila Prabhupada.
同时，我们也想让奉献者和帕布帕所建立的这个组织非常坚定的连接在一起。
Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent acharya in our line of disciplic succession.
帕布帕是我们使徒传系当中很重要的非常有影响力的一位导师。
And all the devotees should understand that initiation is to help them to connect more closer to Srila Prabhupada.
所有的奉献者应该了解，启迪是为了让我们和帕布帕有更深的连接。
Sometimes devotees misunderstand the process of initiation and they become overly affectionate towards the person who is giving them the initiation.
有的时候，奉献者对启迪的了解不是很清晰，而是对给他们启迪这个人产生了很深的情感上的情感对这个人。
But the initiation process, which is given today in ISKCON, is to connect the devotee into ISKCON as a member of ISKCON and to have a respectful attitude towards all the spiritual teachers in ISKCON.
但是呢 ，ISKCON 的这个启迪仪式是为了让奉献者能够尊重ISKCON 的每一位成员，让他们成为 ISKCON 的成员，并且尊重其他每一位的成员。
There are many different, more than 100 spiritual masters within ISKCON. Some are sannyasis, some are not sannyasis, some are in family life.
在ISKCON 呢，有超过100位的人在传教，老师在传教，有的是托钵僧 sannyasi， 有的可能是居士。
Not all are disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Some are grand disciples and even grand disciples of Prabhupada.
而且他们也不都是帕布帕德的门徒，有的是帕布帕的门徒的门徒，或者说是门徒的门徒的门徒。
And in the future, as the society goes on, in the future, in the years to come, there will be more and more generations of disciples.
随着时间的发展，也会有越来越多的门徒。
But Srila Prabhupada is always the preeminent founder acharya, and devotees accept initiation to also connect them closely to Srila Prabhupada's teachings.
但是帕布帕永远是我们的奠基人，然后接受启迪的奉献者，也是为了能和帕布帕德有一个更好的、更深入的连接。
And so all the devotees who are being initiated into Krishna consciousness today want to understand the importance of Srila Prabhupada, and we encourage them to dedicate themselves fully to Prabhupada's mission and Prabhupada's society.
所以今天所有启迪的奉献者，他们需要能够了解帕布帕德，并且愿意致力于献身于帕布帕德的这个运动当中。
It's important for the devotees to understand how the Krishna consciousness movement is managed, how it's set up.
所以对于这些奉献者来说，了解普什那智学的运动，它是如何被管理的，如何组织的，这很重要。
That in ISKCON, the devotees have to work together cooperatively with the managerial authority as well as the spiritual authorities.
在ISKCON所有的奉献者，他们应该合作，应该去协作，不管是在管理的层面，还是在一个灵性的层面。
And so just like myself as a sannyasi, I'm engaged in the spiritual propaganda of the Krishna consciousness movement.
像是我自己作为一个散亚喜一个高僧，我更侧重的就是这个灵性的传教。
But there are many devotees who are concerned with the management of the Krishna consciousness movement, particularly the centers. Just like our center here, it's a big center and there's a lot of expenses involved in maintaining this big temple.
但是有一些地方，尤其是这些中心，他们更侧重的是管理的层面因为这些中心可能有很多的开销他们需要去考虑这个方面，比如说像是庙的一些很多的开销。
So it's very important that there's a cooperation between the spiritual arm of ISKCON and the managerial arm of ISKCON.
所以对于ISKCON来说这个灵性的层面和管理的层面像是两个手臂一样我们这两个手臂都要同时兼顾到。
And so while people accept someone today may accept me as a spiritual teacher, but still they have a duty to respect the managerial authorities here in our ISKCON center.
今天有的奉献者可能接受我作为一个灵性导师，但是他们也要接受ISKCON的管理层面的对他们一些管理。
Devotees have to be willing to help in maintaining these centers which have been in our ISKCON center. So we encourage all the devotees work together, cooperate together, and maintain this Krishna consciousness.
所以大家也要愿意去帮助这些中心维系他们希望我鼓励大家能够去合作，能够协作，一起去帮助ISKCON发展。
So we give initiation. At time of initiation, it's customary that we should explain the 10 offenses and chanting the holy name.
所以在起约的时候，我们需要解释关于唱诵圣名的13冒犯。
Right? The first offense is to blaspheme devotees who dedicated their life propagating the holy name of the Lord.
第一个冒犯就是去批判那些献身于传播主圣名的奉献者。
So very important for the devotees to work together and not to create conflicts between each other.
所以奉献者之间的团结合作非常重要，而不是说各种内部斗争啊。
You know, people can get in the bodily concept of life. Someone can think, oh, these Indian people. Someone else can think, oh, these Chinese people. Oh, these Russian people. Oh, these foreign people. And this way we become very much bodily conscious.
希望我们不是侧重于或者很依附这种躯体上的概念，比如说有些奉献者，我们觉得他是印度人，或者觉得他们是中国人、俄罗斯人，这只是躯体上的概念。
So we want to avoid that bodily concept of life. We want to remember we are all pure spirit souls, although we're in different material bodies.
所以我们想去避免这些躯体层面的概念和冲突，而是记得我们是纯素的灵魂。
And so, in order to avoid offending devotees, it's very important to appreciate devotees.
为了避免冒犯奉献者，我们去欣赏、去赞美奉献者是很重要的。
Offer all respects to others and don't be anxious to be respected yourself.
所以向别人献上我们的尊敬，同时如果我们受到别人的尊敬，也不要过于焦虑。
Second offense is to consider names of demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
第二个冒犯是认为一些半神人，例如说主 Shiva 和 Brahma， 他们和主Vishnu 是平等的，或者是独立于主 Vishnu。
Number three, to disobey the orders of the spiritual teacher.
第三个冒犯是违背灵性导师的训示。
So Srila Prabhupada gives us instructions. We should do our best to follow these instructions.
他们帕德给予了我们这些教导，所以我们应该尽力去遵循他们。
Most important instruction is to chant Hare Krishna mantra regularly every day, at least 16 rounds.
最重要的训示就是每天念诵 Hare Krishna Mahamantra 有规律的每天念16圈。
The fourth offense is to blaspheme Vedic literature or any literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
第4项冒犯去批判一些伟大文献，或者说是和伟大文献相一致的一些经典。
This means you should read Prabhupada's books regularly. If you're not reading regularly, then you are offending the books.
这意味着我们应该规律经常的去阅读他的书籍，如果不这么做的话，其实是一种冒犯。
5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
第5个冒犯是认为念诵 Hare Krishna 的荣耀是想象出来的。
From the power of chanting Hare Krishna is very great. It can destroy unlimited amounts of sins. And if we don't believe that, then that is an offense.
念诵 Hare Krishna 是非常具有力量的，它可以摧毁很多很多的罪行。如果我们不相信这一点的话，其实是一种冒犯，是我们自己的心意凭空猜想。
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord.
第6个冒犯是我们对主的圣名进行一些心意推敲。
Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name.
第7个冒犯是借助念诵圣名的力量去做一些罪恶活动。
This is a very serious offense to commit.
这个是一个非常严重的活动，罪恶活动。
If we think that by chanting Hare Krishna, it gives us the right to do sinful activities, it's a very bad offense.
如果我们认为自己念诵 Hare Krishna 就可以去从事罪恶活动，这是非常不好的一件事情。
We must be very careful not to think that we can ever do such a thing.
我们需要非常小心，而不是认为自己有权利去做这样的事情。
Then the eighth offense, to consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities is karma kanda activities.
第8个冒犯是认为念诵 Hare Krishna 像是伟大的 Karma Kanda 这一部分所崇尚的仪式性的这种活动。
And so people like karma kanda activities, they want to enjoy the material world. But this is not the real business in chanting Hare Krishna.
有些人很喜欢 Karma Kanda 当中所推崇的活动，因为他想在物质的层面去享乐，但是念诵 Hare Krishna 和这个无关。
And the ninth offense is to instruct the glories of the holy name to people who have no faith.
第9个冒犯是向那些没有信念的人去宣传主的圣名。
So we can instruct everyone to chant Hare Krishna.
我们可以让所有的人去念诵 Hare Krishna。
But we will only instruct the intimate glories of the holy name to those who have already developed their faith in the holy name.
但是关于主的圣名非常激励的那些信息，我们只向有信念的人去分享。
We can tell everyone to chant Hare Krishna, but we don't tell them all the intimate pastimes of Lord Krishna.
我们可以告诉所有的人，让他们念诵 Hare Krishna， 但是关于主非常亲密的和激励的逍遥时光，我们不会跟大家分享。
They have to first of all awaken some faith. And so people can develop their faith by chanting Hare Krishna and by association with devotees who have faith.
因为首先他们需要去发展一些信念，这些信念可以由念诵 Hare Krishna 或者和奉献主的联谊而建立。
So it's very important to give people proper education in these things.
所以给这些人恰当的或者说是正确的教育是很重要的。
And then the 10th offense is not to have complete faith in chanting Hare Krishna and to maintain material attachment even after receiving many instructions in the matter.
第10项冒犯是对念诵圣名没有信心，虽然接受了很多的很多的指导，但是仍然认为念诵圣名
So we're encouraged in chanting Hare Krishna. You must not maintain your material attachment. You should be willing to let go of your material attachment.
第10项冒犯就是说，对念诵圣名没有信心，虽然接受很多的指导，但是仍然保持自己物质上面的依附。
we have to understand the temporary nature of the material world.
我们应该了解物质世界的存在只是暂时的。
And we want to develop our Krishna consciousness.
我们想要发展的是 Krishna 的知觉。
Our real business is to become surrendered to Krishna.
我们真正的任务是向 Krishna 臣服。
And in order to do that, we have to let go of all of our material desires.
如果想向 Krishna 臣服，就需要放弃我们所有物质层面的这种依附。
So instead of desiring for our own sense gratification, we want to desire for the service of Krishna.
所以与其去渴求一些感官层面的享乐，我们想渴求的应该是 Krishna。
And then we also add, after reciting the 10 offenses, we explain that it is also offensive to be inattentive while chanting.
在讲13冒犯之后，我们也要讲还有一项冒犯，就是念诵的时候不专注。
So everyone who is trying to chant Hare Krishna, they have to chant with attention. So we encourage them to chant clearly and chant audibly, that you can hear. You move your tongue and you use your ears to hear, your tongue to chant.
所以念诵 Hare Krishna 的人，我们想让他们非常专注的去念诵，在念诵的时候能够聆听到自己的念诵，去利用自己的耳朵和舌头在这个念诵过程当中。
If you do the chanting carefully, then you will feel the effect of the chanting. You will feel your heart becoming purified.
如果我们能够去专注的念诵，我们就能够体验到它给我们带来的影响，会觉得自己的心被净化。
And your material desires will become insignificant.
我们物质层面的欲望就会变得微不足道。
Insignificant.
非常微不足道。
Just forget all the material desires.
会让我们忘记所有物质的欲望。
Just let go of the material energy.
会让我们放下物质的能量。
How do we let go of the material energy? We let go by holding on to Krishna. We hold on to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna.
我们如何放下物质的能量呢？我们是抓紧 Krishna 的莲花足，投币于他。
We take shelter of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. And the best way to take shelter of his lotus feet is through the loud chanting of his holy names.
而投币于 Krishna 莲花足最好的方法就是大声念诵他的圣名。
So it's very important that in chanting Hare Krishna, that you also follow some principles.
在念诵 Hare Krishna 圣名的同时，我们需要遵循一些4项规范原则，也很重要。
These principles are described for us in the Vedic literature.
这些规范原则在伟大经典中被描述。
The pillar of a religion comes in the form of a bull, and the bull stands on 4 legs, which represent the 4 pillars of religion.
宗教原则是由一个公牛所代表，而这牛的4个腿就代表了宗教原则的4项规范。
These 4 principles are described Satyam, Socham, Dayatapa. Satyam means truthfulness.
Satyam 的意思就是诚实。
Truthfulness is destroyed by lying propaganda.
诚实它会被撒谎所毁灭。
In the Kali Yuga, it's very difficult for people to be truthful. They're very fond of telling lies at every moment.
在卡利年代，一个人做到真诚的诚信是很难的，他们通常非常喜欢说谎话。
So we encourage devotees, make a vow of truthfulness. Don't gamble with the human life.
所以我们想要奉献者能够对做到诚信这一点做出一个保证，而不要去说谎话。
It's very rare to get the human form of life, and it's even more rare to get the association of devotees.
得到一个人类的躯体是一个很稀有的一个机会，然而得到奉献者的联谊是一个更稀少的机会。
In the association of devotees, one can cross over the ocean of birth and death.
通过和奉献者的联谊，我们可以跨越生死苦海。
So association with devotees is very special, we want to be very careful not to associate with the materialistic world in the form of what do they call it? G5 or something. They have the cat videos, mobile games. Everyone's watching telecast and Instagram and so many different movies are there all the time. People are absorbing their minds in all of these things instead of absorbing the mind in Krishna.
所以我们应该去珍惜并且追求奉献者联谊，而不是让自己沉浸在一些物质层面的活动，比如说刷手机啊，然后看一些小视频啊。应该去记住 Krishna。
They told me in Malaysia, you know, it used to be people they watch television and saw the Tamil movies, but nowadays it's not. You know, that was only once a week. Tamil movies.
以前马来西亚的一些人告诉我们，他们会在手机上看这个印度的 Tamil 是印度的一个语言，看这个语言的电影，但是现在他们一周看一次。
So nowadays it's not just once a week, but it's every moment, 24 hours a day, every day. Everybody has a mobile phone and they're watching all kinds of movies on their mobile phone.
之前他们是一周看一次，现在是时时刻刻都可以在手机上观看各种各样的电影。
And all of these things don't help to make us Krishna conscious.
但是这些事情不会帮助我们去培养 Krishna 知觉。
We become more and more colored and enamored and forgetful of our spiritual identity.
它会让我们更加的遗忘掉我们自己灵性的身份。
So truthfulness, we want to be truthful to Lord Krishna and absorb our time in trying to remember Krishna.
所以我们想要对主 Krishna 做到诚信，并且利用我们的时间沉浸在 Krishna 知觉当中。
And if we spend our time with so many things on the mobile phone and your internet, then you're gambling with the human life.
如果我们把自己的时间利用在一些没有用的物质层面的活动上，我们其实是在拿自己的生命做赌博。
You're gambling because if you leave the body suddenly, at the moment when you're absorbed in some movie, something on your mobile phone, we do not know what will be your destination in the next life.
为什么说这是一种赌博呢？如果我们在某一个瞬间突然就离开这个物质躯体，但是在这个瞬间我们头脑中想的事情是物质层面的事情，我们不知道自己下一次生命会去向何方。
So after coming to Krishna consciousness, we want to take the full advantage of the Krishna conscious message.
所以当我们进入到 Krishna 知觉运动之后，我们想要非常好的利用100%的利用这个机会。
And don't waste time. Don't waste the valuable time, because that is how we become untruthful.
而且不要浪费我们宝贵的时间，因为浪费时间会让我们变得越来越不对自己，越来越不诚信。
The next principle is socham, cleanliness. Cleanliness is not only externally, but also internally.
下一个原则是骚场，它意味着洁净，不仅是外在的洁净，也是内在的洁净。
Of course, just to get people to be clean externally sometimes is very difficult.
让人们仅仅保持外在的洁净，有时就很困难。
Get people to bathe regularly, to wash their hands regularly.
比如说让他们定期的洗澡，定期的好好洗手。
Cleanliness is a very Prabhupada would quote that there's a saying that cleanliness is next to godliness.
帕布帕曾经说过，洁净是接近神性的一个品质。
If we are not clean, then there's no question of godliness.
如果我们不保持洁净的话，神性就和我们毫无相关了。
So we give great importance to keeping things clean, internally and externally.
所以我们非常强调内在和外在的洁净。
one of the ladies from the beginning of the Krishna consciousness movement described how she first met Prabhupada, and first things Prabhupada asked her to do, he gave her one of the cooking pots, and he said, "Can you clean this?"
有一位女士，她在回师大运动的初期就了解到这个活动。当她见到帕布帕的时候，帕布帕德问她是否能够去洗一个厨房的这个做饭的锅。
So she took the pot and she cleaned the pot. But when she gave it to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, "You've only cleaned the inside. You have to clean the outside of the pot also."
当他洗完锅，把这个锅带给帕帕的时候，帕帕德对他说：“你只洗了里面，外面你没有洗。”
And Prabhupada was not satisfied until she perfectly cleaned the pot, every mark on the pot, outside as well as inside.
所以帕帕并没有感到满意，直到他把这个锅的里面和外面每一处的污垢都清洗干净之后。
So you can judge the standard of cleanliness in a kitchen. You look at the pots and see how clean are they on the inside as well as the outside.
如果我们想要去判断一个厨房的洁净标准，就可以看他用的这个锅碗瓢盆，里里外外是不是一丝不染。
So similarly, as devotees, we also have to be very clean, keep everything neat and clean.
我们作为奉献者也应该保持井井有条，然后非常洁净的这样子的一个原则。
Our temples have a good reputation for cleanliness.
而我们的庙宇也因为保持洁净而著名。
And devotees also, we're very concerned with cleanliness.
奉献者也很在意洁净这方面。
It is said the brahmachari or the student, they will take bath at least one time a day.
真守生他们一天至少要净身一次。
Whereas those who are in household life, family life, they will bathe twice a day.
而那些居士，他们一天应该净身2次。
And the sannyasis in the renounced life, they will bathe 3 times a day.
三亚系，然后托钵僧每天应该净身3次。
So in this way, they keep above cleanliness.
他们会以这样子的方式保持洁净。
And similarly, also cloth of the devotee. Every day we wear these dhoti, these robes, because it's very convenient to wash them every day.
同样，对于奉献者的衣着来说，比如说我们每天穿 dhoti 这种衣服，一个是因为简单，另外一个是它们清洗起来很方便。
Here in this country, Malaysia, it's quite warm most of the year, so it's not difficult to wash things and dry quickly.
在马来西亚这个国家比较炎热，所以每天洗衣服把它们晾干并不困难。
If you have to live in Europe or the USA, it's not so easy.
但是如果生活在比如说英国和美国的那些人，可能就做不到。
But still, cleanliness has to be maintained.
但是不管怎么讲，洁净我们应该去尽量的保持。
We have to clean the mind every day by the chanting of the holy name.
我们应该通过念诵圣名，每天去净化我们自己的心意。
We have to clean the mind regularly of all the anarthas, all the dirty things in the heart.
我们应该定期的去清理我们心意当中的一些不洁的东西，一些 anartha。
We have to work to keep the mind and body, everything ready for the service of Lord Krishna.
我们应该通过自己的努力去保持我们的躯体，我们的心意都能够稳定的从事对Krishna的服务。
Then tapasya, austerity. Austerity means that one should be without pride. One should be humble.
第3个原则 tapasya 就是苦行。苦行意味着什么呢？意味着我们应该非常的谦卑，并没有傲慢。
Humility is a very important quality also for devotees.
对于奉献者来说，谦卑也是一个很重要的原则。
Devotee means they should be willing to offer respects to others.
奉献者意味着这个人应该愿意对其他的人献上尊敬和敬拜。
So devotee will be a symbol of austerity in controlling the mind and senses.
所以奉献者应该能够做到苦行，并且以此来控制自己的心意和躯体。
In Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Rishabhdev is giving instructions to his 100 sons.
在圣典国家瓦坛，Vishwadev 在给他的100个儿子给予他们教导。
Rishabhdev, not Vishwadev.
Vishwadev
yes. So Rishabhdev told his sons about the importance of tapasya, doing austerity.
所以 Vishwadev 就告诉儿子们苦行的重要性。
That by practice of austerity, one can purify one's existence.
通过苦行，一个人可以净化他的存在。
When our existence is purified, then we can experience real happiness.
当我们的存在，我们自身得到足够的净化，就能够感受到真正的快乐。
So we practice tapasya by abstaining from all kinds of intoxicating goods.
我们通过避免一切让我们上瘾或者带有毒性的物品来进行苦行。
Means no onion and no garlic.
没有洋葱，没有大蒜。
These things are rajasic. They're full of the mode of passion. We're already passionate people. And if you eat onion and garlic, you'll become more passionate.
因为这些食物属于激情形态，我们本身就带有很多激情形态，如果再食用它们，会变得更有激情形态。
People may say, oh, it's vegetarian. It may be vegetarian, but it's not sattvic. It's not meant for people cultivating the mode of goodness.
有人可能说他们也是这个菜呀、蔬菜呀，但是他们不属于善良形态的，并不利于我们培养善良形态的心态。
It is said garlic grew out from the dead cow.
然后他们说大蒜是从死牛上长出来的。
So it is not a substance which is acceptable for the worship of Lord Krishna.
所以这种东西就不能够用于对主威术的供奉之中。
And similarly, we don't take tea or coffee because they have caffeine.
同样的，我们也不去喝茶和一些咖啡，因为它们带有咖啡因。
People don't understand how they're addicted to these things until they try to give them up.
一些人不知道自己对这些东西上瘾，但是当他们想戒掉的时候，会发现很难。
Sometimes people, they can't get up in the morning till they first of all have their cup of tea.
有些人早上起不了床，除非喝一点茶。
So devotee doesn't have attachments to these things. We don't have the white flute, the cigarettes. We don't smoke cigarettes. We don't need these white flutes.
所以奉献者，我们不依附于这些物品。Maharaj 把这个香烟举例为叫做白色的笛子。我们不去吹这个白色的笛子。
Devotees of Krishna are not dependent on these kind of substances.
所以，可是呢，奉献者不依附于这些物品。
And certainly we don't take any alcohol substances either.
当然，我们也不使用酒精。
And we know how much today, how fond people are everywhere to drink alcohol. But today, being a festive season, there will be more accidents on the road than any other time in the year because people are drunk. Intoxicated by some alcoholic substances.
我们知道现今的人们是多么的喜欢喝酒，尤其像是在今天这种节日的场合，很多人会饮酒，然后路上的事故也会比往常要多很多。
So devotees avoid all kinds of intoxication.
所以奉献者会努力的避免所有让自己像是迷糊的神志不清的物品。
And they also avoid false pride as well. They keep a humble mood.
他们也会去避免这种假我的傲慢，保持一个谦卑的心态。
So Satyam, Socham, Daya, mercy is the final one we want to mention.
Daya, 仁慈是最后一个原则。
mercy, we want to be merciful to all living entities, and especially we want to be merciful to the animals. We don't kill animals.
我们想要对所有的生物体抱有仁慈之心，尤其是对动物，我们不会伤害动物。
There's enough food for us to eat without killing animals.
我们有足够的食物，不需要去杀害那些动物。
We eat food which is gifts of nature in the form of grains, fruits, and vegetables.
我们食用那些大自然给我们的自然产物，比如说谷物啊、蔬菜、水果。
So they are all available in the market. That's the food for offering to Krishna. We offer to Krishna these things, and we accept the prasadam of Lord Krishna.
这些食物在市场上可以轻而易举地买到，并且这是我们向Krishna供奉的食物，然后我们会荣耀这个菩萨的。
So we're giving initiation today to devotees. They are requested to recite these 4 principles.
所以今天我们给奉献者启迪，然后他们需要去念诵这4个原则。
And we also ask them to make a vow to chant a minimum number of rounds.
然后他们也需要承诺每天要念诵的圈数。
So Srila Prabhupada set the standard that the minimum standard was to chant in the day 16 rounds.
帕布帕说每天最少念诵的圈数是16圈。
Why 16 rounds? Well, that was just considered the minimum standard.
为什么是16圈呢？这只是我们被认为是最少需要遵循的一个数字。
Initially, Prabhupada wanted devotees to chant 64 rounds. 64 rounds means 100,000 holy names.
最初呢，帕布帕德想要我们念诵64圈，这个就意味着108000次的圣名。
But devotees found it not possible.
但是奉献者觉得这做到很难做到。
So Srila Prabhupada gradually came to adjust things to 16 rounds.
所以帕布帕德就调整了这个数字，让它变成16圈。
Which would take a minimum of a couple of hours time to chant.
这个呢，至少需要几个小时完成。
So other people, you'll see Mayavadis who are doing personal meditation, they will do 2 hours meditation. We do 2 hours japa meditation, 2 hours in chanting the holy name.
我们看到那些非人格主义者，他们可能每天会做2个小时的冥想，而我们奉献者会每天念诵2小时的圣名。
And this is the most important of all the instructions of the spiritual teacher.
这个是一个灵性导师所给予的最重要的讯息。
We have to chant, make a program every day to chant the holy name, to associate with Lord Krishna, the form of His holy name.
所以我们每天早上需要有这样子的节目，念诵圣名和主联谊，通过它唱圣名和主联谊。
So 16 rounds is what's considered the minimum standard of devotion.
所以16圈被认为是最少的奉爱服务。
But there are many devotees who make a vow to chant much more every day.
但是有一些奉献者也会承诺说每天念诵更多的圈数。
And of course, we also ask devotees to observe the holy days like Ekadasi by not eating grains and beans on the Ekadasi day.
作为奉献者呢，我们在艾卡达西的时候，也会做一些苦行，比如说不吃谷物。
So these are the principles which are vowed in the presence of our sacred fire, and in the presence of the deities, and in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, and all the assembly of devotees.
所以这些是我们需要做出的承诺，在祭祀的神圣的之火面前，在神像面前，以及在帕布帕德面前，在所有的奉献者面前。
Any questions, anyone?
大家有什么问题吗？
我想问一下，那个奉献者 起离火祭为什么是上午，而婚祭为什么是在晚上？
Prabhu's question is why the initiation yagya is in the morning, but the devotees have a marriage, why the marriage yagya is in the evening.
That's not a rule.
那个 Maharaj 说这并不是说规定。
Initiation could be in the evening, the marriage yagya could be in the morning.
起离的仪式也可以在晚上，然后结婚的仪式也可以在早上。
There's no standards on that.
这方面没有固定的规定。
We did begin the yagya here today. We began before the beginning of Rahu Kala. There's inauspicious period in every day, a period called Rahu Kala. Rahu is an inauspicious planet which exerts its influence at a particular time in the day. And so the Rahu Kala began this morning, 13 minutes after 10. So I came here before that time and we began the ceremony before that.
我们会在一天当中选择一个吉祥的时间开始，在每一天会有一个不吉祥的时刻，这个时刻叫做 Rahu Kala。这个时间是什么时间呢？就是10点13分。所以 Maharaj 今天在10点13分之前来到这里，开始做这个起离的仪式。
还有一个问题就是，起离火祭和婚祭是否能同时进行？祭祀场合为什么不一样？它的区别是什么
？The second question of the Prabhu is, can they hold initiation ceremony and the wedding ceremony at the same time? Wedding yagya and initiation yagya at the same time. Why the setting up is different for the two yagyas, and what's the difference?
Setting up, just simply wood and fire, flames.
Maharaj 说这个他们场合是一样的，都是有酥油呀，有这个木头啊，是一样的。
In the presence of the king. The marriage ceremony is more material, so we don't usually do it in the temple room. We're making spiritual vows here today.
像是婚礼的这种祭祀，通常它是物质层面的，所以可能我们不在神像的面前进行，但是起离的仪式，我们需要做出承诺，在神像的面前。
Marriage is something else. Takes place outside the temple.
婚祭一般是在庙的外面进行。还有其他的问题吗？
Okay, no more questions.
Now I'm going to call the initiates names. They're going to come in front and tell Maharaj that they're committed to do the 4 negative principles and their commitment to chant 16 rounds minimum daily. First, we would like to call Bukan Anamali Prabhu to make his vows. Then please go to Prabhupada, pay obeisances to Prabhupada, pay obeisances to the deities, and then come back here for the vows.
起离帕布会叫这个人的名字，然后大家需要在帕布帕的面前和神像的面前礼拜，然后再去到马哈拉主的旁边。
你看，对，有一个，是一个。
So we will introduce these two devotee couple. They're coming to be husband and wife, coming to take initiation together.
然后是一对奉献者的夫妻。
So they're from the Botanic Garden Center over in Penang.
他们是来自于湖南的一个生态花园。
You have to understand that today some devotees are coming from different places. Not everyone is from this temple.
今天很多奉献者来自于各个地方，好像也是这个庙里面的。
So Prabhu and his good wife, they are based over in Penang.
帕布和他的妻子是住在槟城。
But they're taking the initiation over here today.
他们今天在这个地方起居。
So they've been practicing Krishna consciousness for many years now.
他们修习佛出来之前已经很多年了。
And they're coming together. Sometimes the husband comes first. Sometimes the wife comes first.
有的时候丈夫先进入，有的时候这个妻子是先进入佛出来之前。
Sometimes the man never comes.
有的时候这个丈夫从来就不想练，就不想修。
Often happens.
通常是这样子。
Yeah, the lady comes and the man doesn't come.
通常这个妻子想练习佛出来之前，丈夫并不感兴趣。
But here you have husband and wife together.
但是我们今天有这样一对夫妻。
So very nice.
是一个很美好的事情。
Right. So we will ask them to propose.
There's no meeting, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication.
Like everyday chanting.
Everyday chanting minimum 16 months.
Manager is the housewife, right? Okay. What? Freelancing. Okay, good. You be at home.
这个妈妈其实是兼职工作，一边学习一边做兼职工作。
So Shyamala Mataji, we give you the name Surya Kanti Devi Dasi. And Kula Prabhu, your name is Kula Shekhar Das. Kulashekar Prabhu ki Surya Kanti Devi Dasi ki. And the next one.